We intend to pursue a strategy of very broad vertical adoption based on us having core technology that applies across the verticals and then having partners that address those verticals specifically. So, for instance, healthcare is an area that's got some very specific requirements. Our core technology can satisfy them, but we would use a partner to move forward. So I think you'll see our companies spread across them, but our core will be manufacturing logistics to start with.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Ed Nabrotzky, CEO and co-founder of AI. Ed, very good to meet you. For new investors, can you explain what assets intelligence actually means in practice and why industrial companies can't afford to operate without it?
Absolutely, Stephen. Yeah, asset intelligence means that even though people have assets in their enterprises, what matters in today's world is that asset ready for the task? Is it going to make it in time for the 4 o'clock truck? Is it going to be part of the delivery to a customer? And so asset intelligence is about having that asset have the right attributes and the knowledge that it's going to fit the recipe or the workflow of the enterprise, and it's going to be there in time. We see it every day in our lives with Amazon. How do we know that that package is going to be delivered to our doorstep the next day? We have tracking information and intelligence around the asset that we know when it's been picked, that it's in stock, and that it's going to be on our doorstep the next day. Similar things are needed within the enterprise.
Ed, you're shifting from one-off hardware sales to recurring subscription revenue. Why is that transition so important, and what does it mean for the long-term value of the business?
Our business is both hardware and software because there's hardware required to gather the data to know where the assets are, what state they're in, whether they're ready to fulfill the recipe that they've been assigned. And so we need the hardware to get that data created. But that hardware is a first step towards now that we have the data created, how do we actually use the software to predict whether we need more assets, whether we need assets in different places, whether we need different workflows. So when you see our revenue, it really reflects the model of the deliverable solution. Hardware gets installed first. As it's installed and tested, there's a troubleshooting and ironing out period that you have to make sure that everything's working properly, and then you enroll it in the software. So when we had our fourth quarter results of 5.8 million in hardware sales, that's a precursor as all that hardware gets installed in projects to seeing it being enrolled in the SaaS service. So we can now actually track and add intelligence to the actual process.
Well, looking at your first quarter results, Ed, revenue was minimal, yet you're reaffirming full year guidance of between $6 million and $7.5 million. What gives you the confidence and what needs to happen in the second half to deliver it?
Yeah, the first quarter is really characterized by us hardening the solution as we've been testing on site in these various pilots and working with our key customers to, iron out the little issues that you have in UIs and in software algorithms. The confidence comes from the fact that this hardware is being installed, that we have real customers and projects, and this will result in that revenue in the back half of the year. So our guidance is really framed around the projects we have ongoing and the pilots that we have moving through our pipeline towards full adoption.
You're working across multiple industrial verticals with partners, including Worth Industry and Williott. Which sector represents your biggest near-term opportunity?
Yeah, a lot of our actions right now are in manufacturing and in logistics. These are places where we have assets cycling continuously through the process, and that's where there's a high value, a high ROI from our solution. So I think you'll see manufacturing and logistics be the core of what we do. But we have a lot of traction in places like healthcare. We're doing a lot in construction and mining with large laydown yards and assets that have to be staged, over time. Some things in rental and in tools, and certainly even in entertainment, in some of the entertainment industry pieces. So we intend to pursue a strategy of very broad vertical adoption based on us having core technology that applies across the verticals and then having partners that address those verticals specifically. So, for instance, healthcare is an area that's got some very specific requirements. Our core technology can satisfy them, but we would use a partner to move forward. So I think you'll see our companies spread across them, but our core will be manufacturing logistics to start with.
And you have a manufacturing facility in Puerto Rico scaling to support your order pipeline, Ed. What does AI look like 12 months from now if everything goes according to plan?
Yeah, if everything goes according to plan, we'll be entering a next phase of capitalization of the business. We'll be looking at going international to support our multinational customers. We already have a substantial operation in India doing a lot of our software work and some of our support for that region. But you'll see us expand geographically, and then you'll see us expand our product line in some new areas and perhaps even by acquisition. But we certainly have other things we'd like to tackle 12 months from now if we're seeing the adoption from our subscriber base.
Well, Ed, I hope you'll keep us updated with your progress. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate the
Ed
time.
Nabrotzky, the CEO of AI.